पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि. श्लोक 5. निर्माण-मोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्म-नित्या विनिवृत्त-कामाः अध्यात्म-नित्या विनिवृत्त-कामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुख-दुःख-संज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्. So the padam, pada literally means the destination, the goal. Padyate gamyate iti padam, that which is attained is called padam. Here padam refers to the moksha, which is nothing other than the swarupa of Paramatma. Now Bhagavan describes who attains the pada, who attains moksha. Obviously, a jnani attains moksha. Who is a jnani? What is the nature of a jnani? It is being described in the shloka. Nirmana-mohah, those who are free from mana and moha. Mana means arrogance. Mana and moha. So mana means pride, and moha, delusion. Nirmana-mohah, people who are free from mana and moha. Jita-sanga-dosah, jita-sanga-dosah yaihi, te jita-sanga-dosah. They have conquered the dosha, which is in the form of sanga, attachment. They are free from attachment. Adhyatma-nityah, they are committed to adhyatma-jnana, contemplative, committed to contemplation, committed to jnana. Vinivrtta-kamah, free from kama, free from desire. Sukha-duhkha-sanjnaih, dvandvaih, vimuktah, they are free from dvandva, the pairs of opposites, which are sukha-duhkha-sanjnaih, means which lead to sukha and dukkha. The pairs of opposites that lead to sukha and dukkha. Vimuktaha, they are free. Amudhaha, free from moha. Here moha means ajnana, means jnaninaha ityartha. The jnanis. Tat avyayam padam, tat avyayam padam gacchanti. They attain that pada, the goal which is eternal. Katham bhutaha tat padam gacchanti iti uchyate. Katham bhutaha, what kind of people, tat padam gacchanti. So tat padam, where is tat padam mentioned? Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam ityatra. That pada in shloka 4 it is told. So that pada, katham bhutaha gacchanti, what kind of people attain that, ityuchyate, it is being told. Nirmana-mohah, manah cha mohascha mana-mohau, itaretara dvandva samasa, tau nirgatau yebhyaha te nirmana-mohah, bahuvrihi samasa. Nirgatau manamohau yebhyaha, panchami vibhakti, yebhyaha, from who mana and moha have gone away. Mana and moha have left them. Such people are called nirmana-mohah, mana-moha varjitaah, free from mana-moha, free from mana, pride, conceit. A better word is conceit. I am great. A false, a bloated sense of superiority is called man. And moha, delusion, varjitaha, they are free from these two. Jita-sanga-dosah, we have read this. Nirmana-mohah, manascha mohascha, mana-mohau, tau nirgatau yebhyaha te nirmana-mohah, mana-moha varjitaha, jita-sanga-dosah, sangah eva doshah, sanga-dosah, jita-sanga-dosah, yaihi te jita-sanga-dosah, adhyatma-nityah, paramatma-swarupalochana-nityah, tatparaha, vinivrtta-kamah, visheshatah, nirlepena, nivrattaah kamah yesham te vinivrtta-kamah yatayah sanyasinah dvandvaih priyapriyadibhih vimuktah sukha-duhkha-sanjnaih परित्यक्ताः gacchanti amudhaः moha-varjitaः padam avyayam tat yathoktam jita-sanga-dosah sangah eva doshah sanga-doshah कर्मधारय समास sanga means attachment. Attachment itself is a dosha. Attachment is a dosha. It is an impurity. jita-sanga-dosah yaihi te jita-sanga-dosah bahurihi samasa. Those who have conquered sanga-dosha, they have conquered the dosha of attachment. adhyatma-nityah paramatma-swarupalochana-nityah. They are consistent in contemplating on Paramatma Swarupa. Paramatma Swarupalochanam Nityam Yesham Te. Paramatma Swarupalochanam is Nitya for them. They are consistently doing Paramatma Swarupalochanam, meaning Tatparaha. They are committed to contemplation on Paramatma Swarupa, committed to Atmajnana. Atmajnana alone is their priority. Vinivrtta-kamah visheshatah nivrattaah kamah yesham te vinivrtta-kamah. Their kama is nivratta. Kama has gone away. How gone away? Visheshatah, specially. Some people may be free from some type of desires. But here Visheshed means nirlepena. Visheshatah means nirlepena. No kama sticks there. Means totally. Asheshena ityartha. Absolutely free from kama. Yatayaha means sannyasinah. Bhashyakara adds, such people are sannyasis. Yatayaha. Sannyasinah. Dvandvaih vimuktah. Dvandvaih priyapriyadibhih dvandvaih. Dvandva means the pairs of opposites. What are the pairs of opposites? Priya apriya. It is one pair of opposite. Priya, desirable, and apriya, undesirable. This is one dvandva. There are many other dvandvas. Mana apamana, honor insult, shita ushna, success failure, and so on. sukha-duhkha-sanjnaih. It is a description of dvandva. Sukha-duhkha-sanjnaih. Sukham cha dukkham cha sukha-duhkhe dvandva samasa. Sukha-duhkhayoh sanjna anubhavah yebhyah te sukha-duhkha-sanjnaih. From which you experience sukha and dukkha, on account of which you experience sukha and dukkha, are called sukha-duhkha-sanjnaih. Any dvandva among any pair of opposite, one produces sukha, another produces dukkha. Like Shita and Ushna. At some point, Shita produces sukha, whereas Ushna produces dukkha, especially in winter. Shita produces dukkha, Ushna produces sukha. Whereas in summer it is ulta. So, dvandvaihi vimuktah, they are free from the dvandva. They are able to withstand dvandva. Amudhah, moha-varjitaah, free from moha. See here, if we take amudhah, the moha same as the previous moha, nirmana-mohah, there also moha is told. Amudhaha moha-varjitaah, here also moha is told. If we take the meaning as same, then it will be dvirukti, a redundancy. Therefore, we have to make a distinction in meaning. Previous moha is a delusion. What is delusion? Seeking happiness in the world. The delusion that the material world can give me happiness. It is the moha mentioned there. Whereas here, amudhaha, moha means ajnana. They are free from ajnana. Means jnaninaha, jnanis. Tat avyayam, tat means yathoktam, which is mentioned earlier in the previous shloka. Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam ityadi. Padam gacchanti, they attain that pada, which is avyaya, which is free from changes, means eternal. न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. The padam is already described. But the swarupa, the nature of the pada, was not described in shloka 4. Just the greatness of the pada was told. Yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha, etc. Now, what is the nature of the pada? It is being told. न तद्भासयते सूर्यः tat tat dhama. Instead of the word pada, here Bhagavan uses the word dhama. Dhama means abode. Abode means nature, swarupa in this context. So tat dhama, the dhama, the padam is a dhama, the destination, the goal of a mumukshu is nothing but the dhama, the nature of Paramatma. Tat dhama suryaha na bhasayati, the sun does not illumine, न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः सूर्यः न भासयति, the sun does not illumine, शशाङ्कः न भासते, शशाङ्कः moon, चन्द्रः न भासते, does not illumine, पावकः न भासते, agni, fire does not illumine, meaning it is self-effulgent, it is swaprakash or swayam jyoti or jyotisham jyoti, light of all lights. Yad gatva na nivartante, having attained it, the people do not return, na nivartante. Tat mama paramam dhama, it is my ultimate nature, mama dhama, it is my nature, my swarupa, which is paramam, which is the ultimate, the supreme, because there is nothing further to be attained. Bhashya तदेव पदम पुनः विशिष्यते, विशिष्यते और विशेष्यते. Okay. Yeah. Vishishyate is also correct. Tadeva padam, the same pada, punah vishishyate. It is described once again. Tadhama iti व्यवहितेन धाम्ना संबंधः न तत् भासयते. There is a tat. Tat means that. Where should this that should connect? Bhashyakara says it should be connected with the dhama. Tat dhama. The dhama word should be connected here. So tat dhama, the dhama, that dhama, suryaha na bhasayate. So dhama tejo rupam padam न भासयते सूर्यः आदित्यः सर्वावभासन शक्तिमत्वे अपि सति तथा न शशाङ्कः चन्द्रः न पावकः न अग्निरपि यत धाम वैष्णवं पदं गत्वा प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते. यच्च सूर्यादिः न भासयते तद्धाम पदम परमं मम विष्णोः. So dhama is padam. What is mentioned as padam in the previous two shlokas is mentioned as dhama, the destination. The destination is the abode. Where do you go? To some abode. Therefore, dhama is padam. And this padam is tejo rupam. It is of the nature of light. Light means consciousness. Suryaha na bhasayate. Suryaha is equal to adityaha, the sun. Na bhasayate, does not illumine. Sarvavabhasana shaktimatve api sati. Even though the Surya has the ability to illumine everything else, Sarvavabhasana Shakti he has. He illumines the entire universe, entire world. Still, he is not able to illumine the Dhamma. Tatha, likewise, na Shashankaha is equal to Chandraha. Shashankaha means a Chandraha. Shashaha anke yasya saha Shashanka. One who has Shasha, rabbit, in his Anka. Anka means lap. He has rabbit in his lap, means in his body. Therefore, he is called Shashanka. Na pavakaha, na agnihi api. Even the Agni, fire cannot illumine. Yat dhama, which dhama, what is dhama? Vaishnavam padam, the Vaishnava pada, the destination, which is nothing other than the nature of Vishnu, the Paramatma Swarupa. Gatva means prapya, having attained. Na nivartante, people do not return. Yaccha suryadihi na bhasayati, the Surya etc. do not illuminate. Tad dhama, that dhama means padam, paramam, it is the ultimate, and it is mama. Mama means Vishnu. It is of the Vishnu. It is the nature of the Vishnu, the Paramatma. Shloka 7. Mamaivansho jivaloke जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः. गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्. These two shlokas are interconnected. The anvaya has to be done together. That is why we will see them together. So, mamaya. So, mamaiva amshaha. My amsha alone. Jivaloke jivabhutaha. Mama sanatanaha amsha. My amsha, which is sanatana, which is eternal. Jivaloke jivabhutaha. It is present as jiva in the jivaloka. Jivaloka means samsara. So the jiva is an amsha of Paramatma. Here, such statements in Bhagavad Gita is very useful for some other people. See, Krishna himself says jiva is amsha, amsha amshi bhava. If there is amsha amshi bhava, then the real abheda is not possible. In Advaita, there cannot be amsha amshi bhava also. In Advaita, you cannot really say Jiva is an amsha of Ishvara. If you accept amsha amshi bhava, it is Vishishtadvaita. It is not Advaita. Therefore, this statement is a problem. Then we have to say, it does not mean Vastava amsha amshi bhava. As though amsha, on account of upadhi, as though an amsha. Bhashyakara will clarify this. So, now the jiva is described. The jiva transmigrates. It moves from one body to another body. When it moves from one body to another body, it takes even the sukshma sharira with itself. That is being told. See, here the anvaya should be yaccha api Ishwaraha utkramati. Shloka 8. We have to connect here. Yaccha api Ishwaraha utkramati. There yat means yada. Yat should be understood as yada, when. Ishwaraha. Here Ishwara refers to Jiva, not Ishwara. All these things will become clear as we go through the Bhashya. Ishwaraha means Jivaha. Utkramati. Utkramati, when he leaves the body. Utkramanam means leaving the body. Utkranti is followed by a gati. Leaving the body, and then there is a journey. So first utkranti happens. It is followed by a gati, a journey. Both are discussed in books like Brahma Sutra. Utkranti is a big topic. How the jiva leaves the body. This itself is a big topic. Then Gati, how the jiva travels after leaving the body. It is another big topic discussed in many adhikaranas of Brahma Sutra. So many questions are answered. So, yada Ishwaraha Utkramati, when Ishwara, Jiva, leaves the body, then Manashasthani Indriyani, it should be connected. See, Yacha Ishwaraha Utkramati, then you should come back here. Manashasthani Indriyani, the Indriyas for who Manas is the sixth. Manaha Shashtham Yesham Tani Manashasthani Indriyani. Manashasthani qualifies Indriyani. Manashasthani is Bahuvrihi Samasa. Manaha Shashtham Yesham Tani Manashasthani. The five Indriyas. Shrotra, Tvak, Chakshuhu, Jihva, Ghrana. These are the five Indriyas. Mind is the sixth. Manashasthani. So with the mind, if you count, it is six. That is the idea. Even on this, there is a discussion. If you look into some other books like Vedanta Sara, etc. Manashasthani, does it mean Manas is an Indriya or it is not an Indriya? This is a topic of dispute. When you say Manashasthani Indriyani, does it mean Manas is also an Indriya or it is not an Indriya? Some Vedantis, in fact, majority of the Vedantis accept Manas also is an Indriya. But it is Antarindriya, Antahkarana. It is Antahkarana because it does not interact with the external world directly, unlike the other five senses. Therefore, it is called Antarindriya, but still an Indriya. But Vasudeva Adhvarindra, the author of Vedanta Paribhasha, sorry, not Vasudeva Adhvarindra, Dharmaraja Adhvarindra. Dharmaraja Adhvarindra, the author of Vedanta Paribhasha, he says Manas is not an Indriya. Manashasthani Indriyani, mind is separate. It is not an Indriya. And he gives an example. See, if mind is not an Indriya, then how can you say Manashasthani Indriyani? How can you say mind is the sixth in among the Indriyas? Manashasthani Indriyani will mean mind is the sixth among the Indriyas. This usage is not possible if mind is not an Indriya. Then he says, this usage is like Bharata Panchamo Vedaha. Bharata Panchamo Vedaha. The Vedas, of which Mahabharata is fifth. There is some expression like that, some usage. Bharata Panchamo Vedaha. Does it really mean Mahabharata is a Veda? Mahabharata is not a Veda. It is obvious. Mahabharata is itihasa. It is smriti or itihasa, whatever you call. It is not Veda. But still there is a usage, Bharata Panchamo Vedaha. So this usage is like that Vedanta Paribhasha says. So anyway, I am just indicating this debate. We are not at this context we are not interested in that debate. What we have to understand is the indriyas. Here indriya stands for only jnanendriya, not karmendriya. If you take karmendriya, it will be 11, ekadasha. So we have to take only jnanendriyas, of which mind is also included. Means mind and five indriyas. Stands for entire sukshma sharira. The sukshma sharira. Prakritisthani, the sukshma sharira, various indriyas, they reside in their own respective position in the body. That respective position in the body is called prakriti. Here, prakriti does not mean mula prakriti, not maya. The respective position in the body, like eyeball. Eyeball is the prakriti of the eyes, the chakshurindriya. So, prakriti means a golaka, what we generally call golaka. Every indriya has its own golaka in the sthula sharira. Prakritisthani indriyani, karshati, it pulls along with it. When the jiva leaves the body, it pulls all the indriyas, yeah, from their respective places. And then it travels to take another body. So yada, now see, yada shariram avapnoti, when it takes another body, means when it travels to take another body after leaving this body, then ashayat vayuhu gandhan iva. Ashayat, sorry, ashaya means, see, the gandha, fragrance. An example is given. Uh, there is fragrance in the flower. If fragrance is there in the flower, flower is the ashaya of gandha, fragrance. Ashaya means it's a locus, the locus of fragrance. When the wind blows, the wind carries the fragrance along with it from the ashaya, from the respective locus of the fragrance. So, Vayuhu Ashayat Gandhan Iva. How the air takes, carries the fragrance from its respective locations. In the same manner, etani grihitva sanyati, the jivaha etani grihitva, holding these indriyas, carrying these indriyas, sanyati, he goes, he travels to take another body. So, what we have to understand is the jiva travels along with the sukshma sharira. The jiva does not travel without sukshma sharira. Why the jiva does not travel without sukshma sharira? Because only because of the association with the sukshma sharira upadhi, paramatma becomes jiva. What is jiva? The paramatma identified with sukshma sharira. When the atma is associated with the sukshma sharira, he becomes a jiva. When the atma is identified with the sukshma sharira, the atma seems to be limited. The infinite atma seems to be finite. When it seems to be finite, it is as though amsha. Yeah, amshaha iva. That is why it is called amsha. Not that really it is amsha. It does not mean there is a real amsha amshi bhava between jivatma and paramatma. Because any particular statement in Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad should be understood in the light of so many other statements. If you look into so many other statements, it is very clear it is not amsha amshi bhava. Because the Paramatma is niravaya, nishkalaha. Since Paramatma is niravayava, you cannot talk about a real amsha. That is why amshaha iva. So don't think Krishna is talking some other philosophy. Some other people. There are some other modern Vedantis. They say Krishna talks about Vishishtadvaita also. He talks about Dvaita also. It is not so. See, the same Upanishad or same Bhagavad Gita cannot have three different conclusions. It has only one conclusion. If it has three different conclusions, then it will be ambiguous. And the pramana cannot be ambiguous. Anything that is ambiguous cannot be taken as a pramana. Suppose my eyes do not show any picture clearly. My eyes are of no use. I cannot rely on my eyes. So, yeah. Yad gatvana, see the Bhashya. Yad gatvana nivartante ityuktam nanu sarvahi gatihi agatyantaha agatyanta संयोगा विप्रयोगान्ताः इति हि प्रसिद्धम् कथमुच्यते तद्धामगतानां नास्ति निवृत्तिरिति यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते इत्युक्तम्. So this is sambandha to this shloka sambandha. How this shloka is related to the previous two shlokas. Yadgatvana nivartante ityuktam. This was stated in the previous shloka. Having reached it, you don't return. But this seems to be contradictory to our general understanding. What is our general understanding? Nanu sarvahi gatihi agatyanta. Purva Pakshi is asking. You said after reaching Brahman, nobody goes away from Brahman. Once you reach Brahman, that is it. You don't have to go away from Brahman. You don't have to return from Brahman. But in the world, every gati is subject to a return. Sarvahi gatihi, every gati, every reaching. So here gati should be understood as reaching. If you reach a particular place or a particular state, agatyanta, you have to return from there, means you have to go away from that place. You cannot be one with another thing permanent. You cannot be in association with anything permanent, because gati is an association, reaching is an association, and association is subject to a dissociation. That is what he says. Sanyogaha viprayogantaha itihi prasiddham. Sanyogaha, any association is subject to viprayoga, dissociation. Any association culminates in dissociation. This is from a beautiful shloka in Mahabharata. Sarve kshayantaha nichayaha. Sarve nichayaha kshayantaha. All accumulations are subject to, what do you call, exhaustion, kshaya. You accumulate something, it is subject to exhaustion, depletion. If you accumulate money, hoard something, it is going to be lost at some point or another. Sarve kshayanta nichayaha patananta samuchayaha. All elevation, you go up, you are subject to fall down, patana. So any elevation is subject to downfall. So many dynasties have ruled. At some point of time, they were in their samuchaya, peak, and then every dynasty sees a downfall. Then sanyoga viprayogantaha, all associations are subject to dissociation. Maranantam hi jeevitam, any life is subject to death. Any life culminates in death. So sarve kshayanta nichayaha patanantas samuchayaha संयोगा विप्रयोगांताः maranantam hi जीवितम. This is from Mahabharata. So iti hi prasiddham. This is well known. Tat katham uchyate. Then how can you say tad dhamagatanam nasti nivrittiriti? One who has reached that dhama, they don't return. How can you say? This is Purva Paksha. That is why Krishna is telling the Abheda. See, reaching there, you don't return. Means this prapti, this attainment is permanent. That is the meaning. If the attainment has to be permanent, then there cannot be any difference between you and what you have attained. The attainment can be permanent only if there is no real difference between the attainer and attained. And it is true in the case of Jiva and Brahman. Since the Jiva is not essentially different from Brahman, and the difference is caused only by Ajnana, therefore, Jiva can, the Jiva's attainment of Brahman is permanent. That is the idea in Bhagavan's answer to this objection. We will see that in tomorrow in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste. Om.